Hi, my name is Gibson, and I'm the co owner and creator of the Personal Development School. This is your daily breakthrough video, and in this video, I'm going to talk to you a little bit about how to tell an anxious, preoccupied individual about their attachment style. So, I'm making a little series on this because this is a question I get asked all the time from different individuals. If you're in a relationship with somebody, or if you have an anxious friend, or a dismissive or fearful avoidant, and you're in a position where you're like, I just want to tell people about their attachment style, but I'm not sure how to say it, or if they're going to take it personally, or sort of different stuff. So, what I'm going to do is tell you guys some really important things to take into consideration as you're having this conversation, if you feel that it's an important conversation for you to have. And obviously, it's really common for people to have pretty strong non negotiables around, like, I want to be able to talk about this stuff because I'm working on myself, or I want to be able to discuss our patterns and our needs from an attachment style perspective. And so there's obviously lots of value in being able to have these deeper conversations. So when it comes to an anxious, preoccupied individual, first and foremost, they one of their biggest like governing like hyper vigilant fears, it pops up all the time, it's fairly pervasive in their relationship dynamics, is this idea that they're not going to be good enough, they're not going to be rejected, or they will be rejected. They are going to be abandoned or alone or excluded. And so sometimes if they think that something's wrong with them in any way, or something, isn't good enough about them, then they can be really sensitive to that and take it personally and get really afraid. And so you want to be really mindful of that. But at the same time, anxious, preoccupied individuals love to learn things that are going to help them feel a greater sense of certainty and a greater sense of connection in their relationship dynamics. So you can like be considerate of those needs as well. And so what we're trying to do here, and such an important part of like conflict resolution and communication, is learning somebody else's wounds so that we can, take those things into consideration and make sure that we're not pushing those pain points as we're sharing something that could be taken that way, and also considering their needs and trying to sort of link our desires to their desires so that we can have this mutual sort of benefit and understanding. And by the way, if you want to do a deep dive into this, I have a course that outlines all of this. It's the conflict resolution course inside PDS. And we also have a communication scripts course that has all these different scripts for how to have these different conversations, in life. There's like 60 different, major conversations we have to have in relationships based on our attachment style. It goes into all of those things and gives you like a framework to use. But these are really important principles because the more emotional literacy we have and the more effectively we can communicate, the less time we spend in arguments and conflict, feeling triggered, feeling afraid. So we can be proactive about this stuff, which is really important. And I'll put a link in the description box below to the All Access membership where you can see those different courses, and I'll put a coupon code in there as well. So if you're in this position, you want to really consider this for the anxious, preoccupied person. So what you ideally want to say is start by reassuring the person. Hey, I want to share something with you, and I think you're amazing. I think there's these wonderful qualities about you, X, Y, and Z, whatever qualities you find wonderful about the person. But I think there's something we can work on in the relationship dynamic. And I'm learning about attachment styles. We always start with ourselves, by the way. I'm learning about attachment styles. This is what I think I am. This is what I'm working on. These are some of my patterns. What do you think you are? Let me list them off. I think you might be this one. Here's why. And here's some cool things that you can learn so we can work on this together as a team, and we can continue to facilitate even more connection in the relationship dynamic. And so what happens is, if you position things this way, you're speaking to their needs, you're considering their fears, you're being reassuring. And now this person sees this opportunity to work with you on a lot of this stuff, and to break some of the codependent patterns, and to understand some of themselves, which will further help to progress the relationship. And by positioning things that way, in a way that's digestible to them, that speaks to their needs, this is how things are likely to go smoothly. And this can be a tool that you use, or a trick that you use whenever you're trying to have healthy communication, and get heard and get your points understood, while also taking that person into consideration, is considering their core wounds, their things that might trigger them, learning to bypass them intentionally, and or like debunk them essentially, so they're not getting triggered unnecessarily and they can hear you, and then follow that up by linking to their needs what the desired outcome is. And what this is you really being able to see them, hear them, know their wounds and patterns, empathize with them, take those things into consideration, and then communicate accordingly. And it's not your job to do this all the time and walk on eggshells, but it's your job to be able to think of, well, if I want to have a point shared, or I want to, have a facilitated outcome, like where I get this like type of communication available, then let me do these things for those important situations so that I absolutely have the best opportunity for me to feel seen, heard, understood, me to get my needs met, and then them also to get their needs met, because I'm finding a way to fit my needs into a way that works with their needs too. And it's such a powerful thing for us to do in our relationships. So hopefully that makes a lot of sense. Check that out. If you want to go and do like a deep dive into this and have the framework and the communication scripts, I am putting a link in the description box below with a coupon code for you. Hopefully that makes a lot of sense. Thank you for watching. Thank you for being here. Please like, share, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next video.